How is everyone doing today? Um, busy day, busy week. I don't think I have a lot planned, though I have thrown some notes into my YouTube live document. My music is way too loud in my ear right now. There we go. That's better now. So, how's everyone doing today? As always, I'm going to be live for the next somewhere between 60 minutes and 4 hours. I don't know how long it'll be. That'll mostly depend on you guys. I will answer every question you ask, as I always do. So let me see. I have a couple topics, but nothing crazy. I have nothing too crazy. I feel like a lot of things are always going on in the market, but overall, a calmer week relative to some of the other ones we had. Let's see who's saying hi. Green chart go up, check. So what I did was I overlaid a red chart going down and a green chart going up. I'm running an experiment in my YouTube channel over the last several weeks, and I'm going to do it for several more weeks, and then I'll do a video about my experiment. So you all have been, those who have been clicking on any of my thumbnails, you've been part of an experiment for the past over a month now. I'm doing generally a negative thumbnail and generally a positive thumbnail, and I want to see what gets more clicks. I think both extremes get more clicks. Both rocket emojis and things crashing, going to zero, dumpster fires, those get clicks too. I think negative will end up winning in the end, but we'll see. Now that I've told you the experiment is going on, it's hard to say. Dan looks depressed. I'm terrible at picking screen captures of myself to make thumbnails, but that is one that I grabbed. Market is crashing. How do I know? Well, my Burger Chew hasn't 10x'd in the last 7 days. Tell me what else that could be. I mean, this thing tripled like it should do in the first month that I owned it, and then I'm just sitting here poking it with a stick saying, do something, and all it's doing is crashing. All it's doing is $300 PSA 10s, now $150 PSA 10s or something. If you had told me originally I was going to get a $150 PSA 10 of Burger Chew, I would have been thrilled. But now that you showed me like 300 was there, well, now we're down 50%, so I don't like it as much. Then I'm going to take out more leverage because I know you love it. You would not be alone if you were to do that. Myself, personally, leverage is too scary for me. So I'm a wimp. I'm a paper hander. I will only use my own money, and I will limit the amount of my own money that I will use to. Every week, every month, every year, I will pull out money and fill my non-Pokemon buckets, because I just don't have the stomach for the Pokemon market, I guess. Yeah, let's see who else is here. Gem Mint Pokemon, Dio's cards, Burger Chew is America's card. Dan, please don't get one guide tonight. Also, you are delusional if you think Destined Rivals is ever going below $400. Nice to see you here, Krabby's cards. I did not make any money in Pokemon in 2 years and 8 months. Something to watch on my drive to work tomorrow. Happy morning to you. Tomorrow, modern day investing on the way to work. Hope you have a good drive. I have chats that are showing different things. They both are calling themselves a live chat, but one of them is lagging horrifically. I don't know why that is. Okay, there we go. It just jumped. Let me talk about a couple of the topics that I wanted to talk about. Probstein. I've been not affiliate linked, not affiliated in any way with Probstein. I've just been a happy consigner of his service over the past, it's been years. I've used his service for years, albeit quite minimally years ago. I've used Z&G, I've used DC Sports, I've used a bit of all of them. But Probstein is leaving eBay in like, I actually emailed him earlier. Let's see what his most recent email to me said. So this is from the man Rick himself. His emails are always funny. Our last day to post on eBay will be Friday, October 17th. So if you have not yet shipped to Probstein, you probably shouldn't ship to Probstein. His last day posting on eBay will be Friday, October 17th. Thereafter, all our items are being posted on snipe.com, a new marketplace that launches on November 3rd. It's going to be incredible. His words, not mine. Let me know if you want to see a demo via Zoom. I've already seen a demo via Zoom, but he's offering me another demo via Zoom if I would like to have one. We are doing a raised deal to start the platform. Items over $1,000, you get 97%. Items below 1,000, well, above 25, below 1,000, you get 95%. Under 25, you get 85%. And it launches on November 3rd. So the plug is being pulled on eBay Friday. New listings will go up. They'll run their 7 days. They'll run from the 17th to the 24th. Then there'll be like a week cooling period, and Snipe will just launch. I'm planning on being a guinea pig, selling some on Snipe, and I'm also planning on being a guinea pig buying on Snipe. I think I'm less nervous about the buying side, because it's like when you buy, I'm going to place the bid of what I'm willing to pay for an item. And if I win it, I win it. Great. And I'm happy with the price. And if I lose it, I don't lose anything. The selling side, I just I want to feel something. We're in this crazy market. Let me YOLO some Sword Shield, Scarlet Violet cases. Let me YOLO maybe a Mew UPC case. I'm going to send some stuff. Not a crazy amount, but I'll send 10 grand worth of stuff and just see what happens. Maybe I'll get destroyed. Maybe I will highly regret that. If I get 97% of 50% of market, that 3% fee turns into a very large fee, right? But I'm interested in it. Competition is a good thing. If and when Snipe becomes something large, it will put downward pressure on eBay pricing. It will put upward pressure on eBay customer service and quality and all that stuff. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing that you've got your Catch 'em all collectibles consignments through Fanatics, and you've got your ZNG Emporium consignments through eBay, and you've got your DC Sports, and you've got like all these different things, because that drives prices down generally for the end consumer. So yeah, that's like a really large thing. That is that's a 9-figure. Yes, the 9th figure is the one in front of the 8 leading zeros. $100+ million of annual sales Rick Probstein has. I don't know how long he's been above 100 million, but he's been selling on eBay for 2 decades plus. And similar to myself, I've been on there quite some time as well. But he's doing 100 million a year, and he's just pulling the plug, bringing it over to Snipe. DC Sports is scooping up some of that. Stay tuned. I think there may or may not be more options in the future, very nearby. So stay tuned for future potential sealed consignment options. That's all I will say on that. But I'm trying to do my thing, and then I look at chat, and it says, this man looking like a ketchup bottle. I am sporting my OG Zoo t-shirt today, but I couldn't just skim that message and not laugh. I couldn't not take that comment. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad, for that. I hate ketchup too. I ate a lifetime supply of ketchup between birth and like 10 years old. I used to put it on everything. It repulses me now. I cannot eat ketchup. The smell of it, the sight of it, is just not good. One interesting thing too that I put, this conversation came up in Discord recently, but I always had a really good interaction with Probstein via payouts and everything. But some people shared their anecdotes that like Probstein was fairly slow. Just for context, looking at the field, looking at the competition out there, I've consigned with James. I sell through myself. I sell through my own Fanatics consignment all the time, and I've consigned through Probstein. So, like, generally speaking, there's definitely been times where it's taken longer. But when I deliver an item to Probstein, it is listed that night or the next night usually. A sealed booster case of Pokemon cards, listed within 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 2 business days. And James is something like, I think if you deliver it by Sunday, it gets up that next Sunday. So at best, if you get it to him on a Sunday, it's listing 7 days later. And at worst, if you get it to him on a Monday, I believe there might be chances where it gets up that Sunday, but it could be as late as like almost 2 weeks, right? Similar for Fanatics. If you deliver it to Fanatics today, it lists the first Thursday after it's curated. Sometimes that's 2.5, 3 weeks. But like by the time you factor in the curation time, by the time you get to the next Thursday where it can be listed for the 10-day auction, that's just statement of facts, right? Like I'm stating a fact that is not super beneficial to me. Fanatics is a bit slower oftentimes in this market. Lines are going up. Like if it takes you an extra week to get your thing listed, over the last several months, a lot of times that means you're getting more money, right? Because the line went up even higher after that additional week. But payment side, So the way that I do it on Fanatics, I was paying out a couple weeks ago. I was paying out Wednesdays. Fanatics has shifted a little bit. They didn't really shift. I used to get paid out. I used to get my money from Fanatics every Wednesday. And I always thought that was like the expectation. I always thought that was like the payday. But I was getting it early. All along, for over a year, I was getting my Fanatics payments early. And then they've been a little bit more congested lately. They've been a little bit more slowed down. And so my payment shifted to Thursday. I reached out to my rep and I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, oh, that's the day that you're supposed to get it. You had just been getting it early. Now you're getting it on time. You're not getting it late. But my mind had calibrated in a way to where getting it on Thursday was now late, even though all along it had been on time. And this was one interesting conversation, that this whole like circuitous route of conversation that I'm going on, this rant all feeds back into this. I deemed my Thursday payouts late. They weren't. They were on time. So now I shifted my entire consignment. I'd done Wednesday payouts in the past. Now I'm doing Thursdays to match with when I'm going to get the money from Fanatics. But Probstein, when I sell, like last week, I had a night where 15 grand worth of Pokemon Sealed ended. He sent me the next morning, he sent me like $8,000 partial payment. Not all the items were paid yet. It was like 12 hours from when the items had ended. He had sent me 50% of the money. So going back to my consignment service now, if you sell through me, and I should put up the rates in case you're interested in selling through me. If you're interested in selling through me, if your item ends on Sunday, and if it gets paid on Sunday night or Monday or Tuesday morning, I pull all the auction results on Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, and I pull out all the payment status. So if your item is paid by Tuesday at lunchtime, I will pay you that Thursday. I will pay you 4 days after your auction ended. I will pay you 2 days after I got the money. And realistically, I'm paying you hours after I get the money, because I get it. I request the payout on Tuesday. They send the payout on Wednesday, and I get it on Thursday, because it's 2025 and banks can't send money instantly for whatever reason, unless you spend a lot of extra money. So if you, on the front end, Fanatics is probably the slowest. Curation, waiting till that Thursday. Then the 10-day auction as well. James, Probstein, they run 7-day auctions on eBay. Fanatics, the default is a 10-day auction. And, but once it ends, it's being paid within 4 days. Unless, if they don't pay till Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or the next week, Fanatics gives a lot of time to pay. You get paid the first Thursday after your item is paid, as long as it's paid before Tuesday at lunch. So I know that's a lot of words. I know that's a lot of ranting, rambling. But Probstein pays out within like 12 hours, or at least they have for me. And I remember talking with a couple people in Discord, and maybe some of them will be in here. People were talking like, oh, my Probstein payment is delayed. Delayed, it's like, I'm getting it in 12 hours. Not all of it. And sometimes the follow-up isn't for like 2 weeks or so. But 4 days of that is probably the buyer not paying. A week of that is them relisting the auction, rerunning it. So a lot of it is just frame of reference. A lot of it is frame of reference, expectation. I found it really funny. I found it funny enough that I'd make a note on it, that like Probstein was slow paying out, because by far, at least every consignment service that exists, I believe I've used. Well, not all. I guess there's like Arizona TCG that Alex talks about, and there's a lot of them that I haven't used, but I've used at least one on every platform, and I've used multiple on many platforms. And yeah, there's just none quicker. So to hear that it was like slow was just a funny thing. And I think the way James does it, let me pull up his website just to make sure I'm not misquoting it. He is my competition, so I'm not trying to run his name through the mud. I'm just stating a fact of what his things are. He says, where's payouts? Payouts are initiated 8 to 10 days after items are paid for on eBay. So, yeah, again, like, if you sell with me on Fanatics and they pay Sunday or Monday, you're getting a payout initiated 2 days after. Payout is initiated 2 days after they pay. But if they pay on Wednesday, then you're getting it like 7 days later. So mine is like 2 days to 9 days later. James is 8 to 10 days later. Probstein is 1 day to 5 to 10 to 20, depending on how many times it's relisted. And the same thing goes for James too. James won't pay you if he's not paid. If you auction a card and it's not paid through James, through Probstein, through me, we're not going to pay you when we're not paid. So that's a constant across all of us. And my record so far, and maybe I think that consignor watches my stuff from time to time. Somebody consigned with me a PSA 8 Shining Mew Korokoro, the Korokoro Mew promo, the Japanese one, and it went unpaid 3 times. So that's 3 times. That's 30 days worth of auctions, plus all the time frames that Fanatics gives to pay. And that was like, I paid them like months later. It was insane. Overall, my payout rate on Fanatics is like 97%. So if you do 0.03 times 0.03 times 0.03, that is like the theoretical odds of an item going unpaid 3 times in a row. And his odds were disgustingly bad. I felt really bad about it. But again, it's like what can you do? So that's 4 leading zeros. And then if I invert that, if I put that to the sorry, let me do my PEMDAS. Let me put my parentheses. Let me raise that to the -1 just to see 1 out of, so that's 1 out of 37,000 odds. Like, that's how unlucky that consigner was to have their item go unpaid 3 times. If you take the flat 3% unpaid rate, very, very unlucky. But anyways, don't talk about what is talked about in Discord, Dan. Very dangerous thing to do. Hey, I'm not like screen sharing Discord. That would be next level. That would be crazy. But yeah, snipe is one thing that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, there's a conversation on snipe. Oh yeah, another big thing that I wanted to talk about. And this one is I mentioned it. So my video on Monday, my vacation recap, my business trip recaps never do amazingly, and this one was no exception. So a lot of people will probably never have seen it. But my buy list is always there. Oh no, I didn't update. Let me go to my Shopify real quick. I forgot to update one thing. I forgot to update the timestamp when I updated the photo. But every Monday, for those uninitiated, I update my hot buy list. What my hot buy list is all the sets that I'm paying 80% or more on. So on these sets right now, Black Bolt, Chaldean Fates, Lost Origin, and Evolving Skies, I'm paying 80% plus of market. Send to me first, add signature, it's fully insured, PayPal, friends and family, ACH, Zelle, payout. I can do goods and services up front if you don't trust me, if you don't want to go that route where you send first. I'm also buying Sealed Sword Shield and Scarlet Violet booster box cases, ETB cases for 85%. So that's always there. I just need to update this one thing, and then I'll share my buy list on my website, and I'll show you. So that's my high end. That's kind of my ceiling. 80% is the floor for the hot buy list. Sometimes I'm paying 90%, 95% of market if I really need something. Actually, I did a little experiment, and for a 2-month span, I was paying over 100% of market, TCG Player Market on Brilliant Stars, and I didn't even end up buying that many packs. But yeah, let me refresh and let me share my screen. So we'll go here. We will do my buy list. So yeah, every Monday I update this. I give a quick timestamp as to when I updated it. And here's my hot buy list. But some people don't know this. If you scroll down below my hot buy list, you actually see my full buy list. Like, I am always buying every set from XY base to current. And I know it's really, really small right now. You probably won't be able to make it out. But what it shows is, let me do this so you can see all of it. What it shows here is set name is on the left where my cursor is. TCG player price is here. That's scraped in. And then offer is my rate times the TCG player price. Most sets, I'm always above 70%. My floor used to be 70%. Like, I would pay 70% on anything. One thing that I've found is that 8 months ago, I had 100,000 booster pack inventory for the live streams. And I had a goal of getting it down by the fall to like 60 to 70,000 packs. I still have 100,000 packs. And I'm piling up more than I would enjoy to pile up. Sets like Obsidian Flames, sets like SV1 through SV4 primarily. I'm piling up way too much Shrouded Fable. I'm piling up way too much of certain sets that I'm not going to sell in the next decade on live streams. So I've dropped the floor out, and certain sets you can see right here, Shrouded Fable, I'm offering 65% now. The floor used to always be 70%, but there are select sets that I'm at 65% on. Temporal Forces, I have way too much. I'm at 80% on Chaldean Fates, because it's on my hot buy list and I really need it. But Paradox Rift, I probably have 10,000 packs, and we've probably only sold 1,000 packs this year or something. Like I literally have a decade's worth of packs. So that is an update that I wanted to share as well. Not necessarily an amazing update. If you sell packs to me, you've been pawning off your Paladin, or sorry, your Paradox Rift. You've been pawning off your Temporal Forces. You've been pawning off a lot of that junk on me at Obsidian Flames at 70% of market. I've lowered my floor down to 65%, and maybe it goes to 60% if people keep dumping it on me and I'm selling. If I'm buying it quicker than I'm selling it, and I already have a decade's backlog, I am going to I'm going to lower that even more. That's the whole idea behind the buy list, right? If I need it more, I pay more for it and I'll get more. If I am getting too much, I lower the price so that I don't get as much demand for selling into that. Let me double check my notes and see if there's anything else I had. I think that's... I have a couple other notes that, like, I'll get to them if we get to them. But, yeah, I'm going to go to the live chat now. I'm going to go to the live chat now and see what we see in there. Don't feed the bears, Dan. So let me scroll down through. As always, ask a question if you have any. I am here for as long as you would like to have me here. MetaZoo Wednesday. Yes, ask your questions now. MetaZoo Wednesday is in progress. We got Pokey Chef. How's it going? Garen Skater Nesto. Early to a Dan live we lit. That's a name that I haven't seen gracing my chats too frequently lately. Timmy has a PhD if you want any proper statistical analysis on your experiment. How's it going, Pokey Matt? Big fan of the channel. I'm new collector, vendor, streamer, trying to learn from the best. I don't know who and where the best are, but I'm glad to have you here, and hopefully you can learn or be entertained or something. Nice to see you, Pokemon Finance Guy. How's it going, Allison Silverland? Johto Jake, was very nice meeting you at Seattle Card Party. Hey, Dan, when are we going to see you on the Pipe Dream podcast? Yeah, shout out to Pokeplumber. Not that Pokeplumber needs a shout out from a small, humble channel like mine, but if and when I ever get invited to the new Pokeplumber podcast, I will definitely go on there. How's it going, 66 Mustang? Nice to see you in here. My cell phone situation is, my old phone is there, my new phone is here. They're still transferring, but texts are still coming through. For a while there, texts were down, but I am seeing text now. Ponchos or world champion stamps? I've never been a variant guy. The reason that I will choose, and this is not like investment advice, this is not like collecting advice. To be clear, like, I always distinguish talk versus walk. So my walk, I own 0 ponchos, I own 0 champion stamps. As far as collector boy Dan goes, fully aside value, all that stuff, like, if I like, which card do I just like more as a collector? I like ponchos more. Ponchos are unique. Ponchos have distinct, unique art. They're Japanese exclusive. But I'm not a big variant guy. I'm not a stamp guy. I'm not a reverse holo guy. I'm not an PC ETB collector. PC ETBs launching is actually what made me quit collecting ETBs. Because I had ETBs, and then they came out with those Zacian and Zamazenta ETB pluses, and then they came out with Pokemon Center ETBs, and then they had the error Pokemon Center ETBs from Chilling Reign without the proper amount of packs, and it's like, I don't like variants. I want one of each unique art, one of each, like a complete set is what I go for, not a master set. So I choose, as a collector, I choose ponchos over world champion stamps. Now, if you start talking like investing, if you start talking, Dan, you have to put 50 grand into ponchos, or you have to put 50 grand into champion stamp promos. I'd much rather put it into modern sealed Pokemon, where I actually put my money for long-term storage. I'd much rather put it into the S&P 500, where I put my money for long-term storage. But if I had to pick one of the two, man, that is actually, I don't like either of them. I'd probably lean towards champion stamps. I feel like there's arguments that they're undervalued, but I hate the whole extra copy thing too. With ponchos, there's so many that if there's a few extra copies, it's not as big of a deal percentage-wise. But I just dislike both of these so much, holding these slabs over the long term. The second that I become an owner of either of these slabs, I sell them. I don't agree with the prices of either overall. but I feel like there's better fundamental arguments towards the champion stamp, kind of. Just ran to the grocery store for a drink. Someone was cleaning out the vending machine. Crazy, crazy time we're living in. I know this might be a novice question, but why is there such a premium on booster boxes? In recent sets, the SIR isn't even guaranteed. People love their plastic. People love their cardboard. And the more layers of cardboard and plastic, like if you take 36 loose Destiny Rivals booster packs, if you're buying from somebody, shout out to the affiliate link below, Catching Ball Collectibles live on Fanatics 20 times a week or whatever we're up to right now. PK is doing 16 himself, and Ponga's got 2 and maybe 2 more depending on the week with instant rips. So we're up to like 20 times a week we're streaming on Fanatics. If you buy 36 loose packs, they are coming straight from distro product. They're coming from people that are breaking down booster bundles and tins and collection boxes. And sadly, well, like at launch, we broke down a lot of booster boxes because that was the only way I had packs, and we needed to put packs into the live stream. But if you're just opening them, large data set, a large pool of loose packs versus a large pool of booster boxes, it's the same thing. Doesn't make any difference. But you seal that in some cardboard, seal it in plastic, and then better yet, you put 6 of these together, sealed in more cardboard with nice stop tape around it. People just go bonkers for it. I generally don't care for much myself, but I care a large amount because I know the market cares. So everyone knows that some people care, so everyone cares because you have to. If it's me, if it's PC, I could throw this on the floor. Like, if I'm really going to keep this stuff for life, I wouldn't care that much. It wouldn't be a big deal to me. But I know that people care, and I'm not taking any of this stuff with me. It is all intended for resale. So if you have 2 boxes side by side, and one has a dent and one has a peel in the shrink wrap, versus one that's just pristine, which one are you picking for the same price? You're picking the pristine one. Now, if you have 36 loose packs or a box, you're picking the box. So just fundamentally, it has to be that way. Like, fundamentally, the premium exists because we are the way that we are. Like you yourself, Ethan, given the choice, and anyone out there, there's no one out there that would honestly say, hey, I'm going to give you for free. I'm like, say that I theoretically ran a giveaway right now, and the winner got 36 packs of Destiny Rivals. If I gave someone an option for either a sealed box or 36 loose packs, no one would choose 36 loose packs. Everyone would choose the box. So clearly, like, at the same price, everyone's choosing this. We'll raise the price $5. Now what are you choosing? Raise the price $10. Now what are you choosing? Raise the price, and depending on the set, depending on the premium, some of them are hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. Vintage boxes, some of them are obscene, the premiums. And if you don't agree with it, that's a great thing. If you don't agree with it, buy the loose packs. If you, and I'm not talking to you, Ethan, I'm talking to everyone now. Some people get like angry about it. Some people get like, this premium shouldn't exist. This is stupid. It makes me angry. It makes me mad. Well, people can do whatever the hell they want to do, right? People can decide to buy or not buy whatever they want to. And there's no sense like getting upset about it, getting angry about it, as some people do. It's just like, if the market values something more than you do, sell it to them. If the market values something less than you do, buy it from them. And that's kind of like what I've done over the past 11 years. I've always said, like, certain things, it's like the premium on this thing makes no sense. PSA 10s have always been the main thing for me. I will gladly sell this into the market, and I'll buy 20 PSA 9s instead of 1 PSA 10. And I might even crack and regrade some of my 9s into 10s and then sell them again because they're stupid. That's the way that I've navigated everything. Everything is intended for resale. Gem Pokemon. Inventory is significantly more tax advantageous than collection. So collection is a very dirty, dangerous word when it comes to tax optimization. So it's all inventory. This is the new nightly news. My wife heard you mention Idiocracy on the last live. She watched it last night and was not impressed. Garen, elaborate on that. I didn't really say that it was like, honestly, it is one of my, it's not like a top 25 movie even. It's one of my more favorite movies. I would rate that movie very highly. But it's not because, like, it is kind of funny in some spots. It's really silly. It's really, like, crude in a lot of spots. But I love the concept of it. And I fear that the concept of it is actually, like, coming to fruition in real time I feel like we are living in idiocracy. When I turn on, and I very infrequently do turn on the mainstream media, news, all that stuff, because like it just feels like I'm looking into our future that is predicted by idiocracy. That's funny though. I had JR, the Mexican hipster, tag me on Instagram. He was watching it. It seems like at least multiple people. I don't know if I can say several. Multiple people took me up on my movie recommendation, and that's funny to me. Hey Dan, what financial channels do you watch? Are you a big reader? If so, any book recommendations? I actually have tons of books. I have tons of books that I haven't yet read. I've been a very bad person. I had a new one just come in, and I've had this conversation recently on a lot of my live streams, and I've had this conversation privately in some Discord conversations, whatever. But Annie Duke, if you used to watch World Series of Poker, maybe she still plays, I don't know. But thinking in bets, making smarter decisions when you don't have all the facts. Whoever recommended me this book, I looked at like I read the little summary of it. I like the idea of it. It's rated really well. I think I'm going to enjoy the book, but I haven't yet read it, so I can't really give it my own personal review. But I think things like this are important. Making smarter decisions when you don't have all the facts. We never have all the facts. Everything is probabilistic, just like in poker. So the one fact in poker, and I'm not like a massive poker player, I'm not a poker expert, but the one thing in poker, you can know what your outs are. You can know what the nuts are. The nuts are like the best hand that cannot be beaten. If you have the nut flush, you know with a 100% certainty that no one can that no one can beat you on that hand. So certain times in poker, you know that you have the nuts and you cannot be beat, but most times you're dealing probabilistically. You're trying to gauge if the other person's bluffing. You're trying to gauge, did the other person just catch that straight? Are they on an inside straight draw, outside straight draw? Are they on a flush draw? How does that compare to the odds? And then there's pot odds, and there's all the different layers of everything. And everything that I do in this space, I never have all the facts. I don't know what the print runs are. I don't know what is being printed next. I don't know what's getting reprinted. I don't know. Say I knew what was getting reprinted. I don't know the SKU that's getting reprinted. Is it the booster boxes? Is it the tins? Is it the booster bundles? Is it the ETBs? I don't have all the facts. So I make my theories and I attribute certain percentages to the likelihood of that outcome. And then I compare that against like the inventory that I have. And I just try to optimize. I'm constantly trying to optimize, trying to increase my expected value, my expected outcome, while minimizing my downside risk as well. So I haven't yet read it, but that is one book that was just added to my library of probably a dozen books that I want to read. This is one that I have read. Big recommendation there for the intelligent investor. That's a standard. I should just pull them all over here. I don't know if you'll be able to read them from there. These are like the next 12-ish books that I want to read. I did read Rich Dad Poor Dad. But those are some of the books. Those are some of the books. I did read The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. That's a really good book. So let's see. Here are some other ones. The 4-Hour Work Week. That's what I'm trying to get to right now. So I haven't read the book yet. I'm not on my way there though. Anti-Fragile, Nudge. This one I had to buy back at work. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of this book, but like where I used to work, we used to have a Dale Carnegie program that certain people had to go through, and somehow I dodged ever having to go through that. Maybe that's why I'm not good at winning friends and influencing people, because I've not yet read the book. Atomic Habits, I think that's like a standard. A lot of these are like falling into the self-help, maybe personal finance, that type of space. I did read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Look at how small. This is like when I get a PSA return. This is like the PSA 10 pile, the books that I've read. And this is like the PSA 8 pile. All the books that I didn't read yet. Frugal Woods. I used to read the Frugal Woods blog, and I was a huge fan of that years ago. So I'm excited to read the book. I did read The Millionaire Next Door. Great read, would recommend that. Love People Use Things. I don't remember where I got that recommendation, but that's one that I bought. Flux. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. I did read that one. I did read Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. So there is our oh yeah, and J.L. Collins, The Simple Path to Wealth. Very, very good read. I listened to a lot of his appearances on various podcasts. So there's my not read pile, there's my read pile. And there's a couple other books there, but that's most of them. What is the nut Pokemon investment? I have $2,000 of credit card balance to spend. That's funny. So that is my oh yeah. Now what financial channels am I watching? I watch Two Sides of Fi. It's two guys, one guy that is intending to on his path to becoming financially independent. The other is retired and financially independent. They both kind of actually crossed over now. So they're both like on the same side of Fi. But two Sides of Fi is a good one. The Afford Anything podcast is a good one. There's a lot of other ones that I just watch here and there. I do watch Graham Stephan's Iced Coffee Hour. I don't watch all of them, but when he has like more finance slated ones, I watch those. How's it going, Pokemage 87? How often do I have to do taxes? Once a year. Depending on what jurisdiction you're in, depending on what county, what state you're in, some places you have to do it monthly. Some places you might have to file your sales tax returns monthly or quarterly. But where I'm at in New York and how little sales taxes I collect and remit, 0 sales taxes I collect and remit because eBay does it for me, Finax does it for me. I only have to do sales taxes annually and I do income taxes annually. My accountants do payroll and they do my corporate taxes quarterly and I pay my quarterly estimates, all that stuff. Everyone wears Crocs in Idiocracy. Don't slander premium footwear. I've never owned a pair of Crocs. I don't think I've ever wore a pair of Crocs either. I guess it would be weird to wear a pair of shoes without owning them. But fence sitting for dummies. I think that's oh yeah, that's thinking in bets. But at some point, I haven't done it yet. At some point, I'm gonna set a smart goal. Where's my smart goal? I'm gonna set a smart goal to read 1 book a month, and this'll be like about a year to knock these all out. But I think I will be a more intelligent, a better person having read these books. I think they will improve my mind. I think they will improve my the way that I think about finance, the way that I think about life, and that's why I bought them. But honestly, some of these books I bought 2-3 years ago. Some of these books, honestly, if I check my Amazon, some of these I probably bought 5 years ago, and I still haven't read them yet. So I've been very bad. Oh, Garen said his wife said she completely agrees. She just wasn't expecting that type of adventure. It is quite the ride, Idiocracy. When the book stack is taller than the Grail Stein, you are behind. So he's taller than the book stack is taller than Dooley, but it's shorter than Schultz at least. I better not let it get taller than Schultz because then I'm in trouble. But it is thankfully shorter than Schultz. Dan and Ern really stand out for their authenticity and caution with their takes. So many PokeTubers are permabulls, so it's hard to find honest takes as the algorithm prefers to the moon. Yeah, definitely lack of nuance, lack of any caution, full rocket emojis to the moon. Like, that is what people want to hear. People generally want to be reinforced in their decisions of like, hey, you bought Pokemon, thumbs up to you, you're going to be rich guaranteed. That's what people want to hear. They want to see lines that support that. They want to see, and then the nice thing about that is it feels good to be told like, hey, you're right, you're smart, you're such a beautiful, smart, intelligent, amazing person. Everything you do is awesome, especially when you click my affiliate link below. People love to be told that stuff. And then the nice thing about it too is like intellectually, people offload responsibility on their influencer of choice. And then if and when the stuff crashes, they can be a victim. They can blame, ooh, bad YouTuber, bad boogeyman got me, not own any. And then if they end up rich, it's like they either end up rich or they end up a victim of someone else and it wasn't their fault. And that's like a spot I think a lot of people like to be in, honestly, kind of sadly. Taxes are the pits. I'm a fan of optimizing for taxes and talking about taxes, much to some people's dismay. But I started watching Reserved Investments because you mentioned him. It's interesting to hear his take on the Pokemon Frenzy versus a bubble. So per his recommendation, I actually bought this book. I haven't yet read this book either. Oh no, is this going to be taller than Schultz now? It's still shorter than Schultz. But this book is not yet read either. Mint Condition is a book that I've intended to read. Clear Value Tax. Oh, Clear Value Tax. I've watched that some. That's the one with the Asian guy, right? I believe that's an Asian guy who just talks about, like, he's a CPA. He talks about tax topics. There's also Not Your Dad's CPA. Not Your Dad's CPA is one that I would highly recommend. He's really good. He's a reseller, and he talks about doing reseller taxes. I'm fully caught up in chat. I did not do substantially long enough rant as I usually do to start my live stream. So depending on if people have questions to drop in the chat, I've never done a live stream in under an hour, but I'll probably find a way to rant my way to an hour. But yeah, if people want this to continue late into the night, feel free to leave your questions in chat. I will come around to them. I mentioned earlier, I don't think I've ever owned a brand new cell phone. Way back in the flip phone days when my parents used to buy them for me. But I hate this is something that is so counter to me. Technically, I am financing this cell phone. It is so painful and it is so disappointing to say those words out loud. But I'm an open, honest, transparent YouTube channel. And I've always talked about not being in debt. And it's crazy when people finance a phone, when they finance a TV, when they finance a mattress. It's all crazy. But like, this is the circumstance that I found myself in last week. So last week, I have an S21. What I usually do is I buy a 2-year-old phone. So in 2023, I bought an S21, which came out in 2021. So I bought a 2-year-old phone and I ran it for 2 years. Well, recently, I dropped it and I cracked the screen, which you might be able to see there, and it stopped reading the SIM card. So I'm like, oh crap, how long ago did I buy this? Oh, I bought it 2 years ago. I'm due for an upgrade anyways. So let me upgrade it. I was looking at S23s. S23s on eBay were going to run me $350, which, whatever. I'm just going to buy the phone for $350. Just out of curiosity. I'm like, what does a Verizon charge for these? I log into Verizon, and it's like, hey, if you trade in your S21 now, we'll give you an S25 for $50. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no shot. I look at it left, right. I Google. I look on Reddit. I look on all different places. And it's like, this is a real deal. They're really going to take my old busted phone and they're going to give me $800 in credit towards an S25. So I believed in it so little that I went into a physical Verizon store and I had the guy verify it for me. He's like, yep, that's real. He couldn't even match the online offer. The online offer I was getting on the app was better than he could give me in store. So I did it online. I haven't yet, like literally, I just activated this today, but I've never owned a brand new phone. One thing they make you do, they make you finance it. You have to finance it over the 36 years that you lock in. Part of the reason they're getting me is because two things. I upgraded my plan, which I had to do anyways. I didn't realize it, but I was on the lowest plan. And when I play Pokemon Go with my kids, I tether my internet over to their phones. Their internet speed through tethering was 600 kilobits per second. 600 kilobits, whatever. Not mega, not giga, killa. So somehow, like literally today, we went to swim lessons. On the way home, we did a speed deoxys raid. We did a Latios shadow raid through 600 kilobit internet. And the new plan, I'm on the higher plan now. It's like an extra $30 a month. But my wife is a teacher. I didn't know that there was a teacher discount too. So all said and done, we're paying $10 more for our phones. And I'm going to use this as a backup. So right now, like when I tether on this now, it's faster than T-Mobile home internet that I have. So I don't have it set up yet, but there's been a couple times I've had hiccups on here where my T-Mobile home internet went out, and I'm going to fire this up. If and when my T-Mobile home internet goes out, I'll fire this up to tether to my desktop, and I'll be on Wi-Fi. I won't be hardwired, but I'm hardwired to a T-Mobile home internet anyways. So that's my long rant ramble on coming clean on the fact that I'm paying $1.66 a month for this phone for the next 36 months. So I have no leverage to lever it up. I have $1.66 a month phone payment They will not let you pay it early. You cannot pay it off early. I asked them. I'm like, can I just pay it on this first statement? They make you pay it off to bear the shame of having debt. I'm going to be for the next 36 months. I'm in debt. At what? I got a $50 S25 brand new phone, but at what cost? I cost me a part of my soul. I'm in debt to Verizon for the next 36 months for $1.66 a month. My wife's is like $5 a month because we're paying no, it's not 5. Maybe it is $5 a month. Yeah, we're paying like $180 for hers because she's on a lower tier and she didn't get as big of a credit. But I discovers that I've known about it and I've never liked it, and I don't like that I have it again. I have the money there, obviously. I promise I have $50. I promise I have $200 to pay off both our phones, but Verizon refuses to take it. It's crazy to me. If I were to pay that off, as far as I understand it, through the Googling, through talking to the guy, if I try to pay it off, they'll claw back the $800 credit. So I technically could pay off my phone, but instead of 50 over 3 years, they take 850 today. So that is literally the two options I was given. I was given pay $850 today, or my other option was to go to eBay and buy it for like $700 on eBay, or buy an S23 that's used for $350. So I'm justifying it to myself by saying that like I had to. Given those options, like I had to, right? But Mason is correct here. Upgrading your plan $30 a month for 36 months is $1,080. But one thing that I'm further justifying it by, so this is crazy too. I've had T-Mobile home internet for over a year now, but all that time I also have TDS. I still have TDS DSL internet that I originally got when I moved into this house because T-Mobile home internet wasn't a thing. I've been paying $70 a month that I've not been needing to pay for over a year. I've paid over $800 to TDS for a redundant internet system. I have a couple things on it. My home security system is on TDS Wi-Fi. My Elgato lights are actually on the TDS Wi-Fi. But I'm going to finally cancel that because part of my thinking was like, my job needs good internet. I don't know if I trust T-Mobile home internet. It's been fantastic, but I've always had the backup of TDS. I just haven't had a quick way to switch it over. Dennis Cook's chat. But now I officially have a better second option. So I'm gonna cancel the TDS home internet. And honestly, if things go well enough with this, like maybe I could just cancel T-Mobile home internet too. But yes, Mason has cracked the code on how and why they do what they do, because I'm paying $30 a month more, but with a teacher discount, blah blah blah. So that is the rant that I used to fill in. I used that rant to fill in. I had to come clean on having debt so that I could back up some more questions. Now that I have more questions in the chat, we don't need to talk about my cell phones anymore unless you guys want to. It is 0%. It's at 0%, but it still doesn't feel good. Don't leave it at the bar when you tap. I do have Google Wallet. I don't use it much though. Maybe I should use it more because I left my credit card at the bar on Friday night. I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. I left my credit card at the bar, which was not a good idea. So that's the thing though. If I get a new car, I'm gonna pay cash for it. When I got our Kia Sportage 3 years ago, we got a Kia Sportage. I paid $30-something thousand cash. Not $100 bills, but like check. I did a cashier's check, bank check, whatever. And then we bought a Kia Carnival minivan for like $40-something thousand, and I paid cash. I paid check, bank check, whatever you call it. So it's funny. I'm financing $1.66 a month for a cell phone, but I paid cash for my last two cars, totaling $30,000+ each. Yeah. Sometimes I hang out in live chat. Thank you, Silverhawk. I will go back and take those. Any questions? Feel free to leave them in chat. I just had to go on a side quest of a 10-minute rant on my cell phone plan. Disclaiming my debt. I'm no longer debt free. So much tax talk. I have 5 days to file my Q3 sales tax. You better get in on it. Did you listen to the Iced Coffee Hour episode with Carlton Dennis, all about tax loopholes and strategies? I believe so. And anything that's finance geared, anything that's talking about taxes, I always click on those. I don't listen to every Iced Coffee Hour, but the ones that I do, I generally enjoy. I like Graham and Jack's takes on a lot of things. No longer debt free, Dan. Tisk tisk. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. But I'm gonna take two $100 bills out of my wallet, and I'm gonna set them aside, and I'm just gonna make sure that I always have those, the ability to pay it off in full, even though the in full payment. So I have $200 of debt between my phone and my wife's phone, financed over the next 36 months. But if I wanted to pay them off early, there's a $1,500 early payment penalty. It's devious. It is devious what Verizon. I'm a victim of Verizon's cruel business practices. And honestly, I say that mostly in jest. I say that mostly joking. But like, being serious for a minute, that is honestly disgusting. It is honestly disgusting that they're not making me. I could have stayed with an S21. I could have bought an S23 for $300. But it is devious that they make it so crazy, so like hard to turn down. I remember my dad talked about this a while ago to me, but he bought a truck years ago, and I don't remember if it was 5-6 years ago now. He had the cash to buy it, and he wanted to pay cash for a truck, 30, whatever it was, similar to my vehicles. He was just like, hey, I like that one. How much is it? Negotiate the price. Boom. Okay, I'm buying it. And whatever the number was, I don't remember what it was. Say it was 30 grand. They told him it's 30 grand if you pay cash, but if you finance it for 0% interest for 3 years, whatever it was, it's 29 grand. So he saved like $1,000. He financed it. He had no early payoff penalties. So he financed it. He waited a couple days, and then he paid it off in full. It's like, why do they make you jump through those hoops? I know why they do it, because people do that one time, and then in 3 years, when I'm due for another one, it won't be as good of a deal. But the thing is, it'll be stretched out. A lot of people. So part of the reason that I qualified that, I talked this through with the Verizon rep. He said that he's never seen a deal that good. He said that most people get offered for an S21. He said the standard offer for an S21 is like $100. But part of the reason is that I've been with Verizon for like a decade now. I've never bought a phone through them. I've never bought a phone through them one time. I've always bought them on eBay, and I've always just activated them on the service. I bought an unlocked phone on eBay, so they wanted to tease me in. Their plan with this is to make me a lifetime, every 3 years, trade it in, upgrade it, pay $20 a month forever. Paying $20 a month forever, trade in the old one, $20 a month. Like that's what most people do. And honestly, it's like, I have the money that I reasonably could make an argument that I could and should do that. But I just, I hate the way they frame it. I hate the way they structure it to where I'm technically in debt over it. I've been actually trying to consciously trying to like spend more money on things. And sadly, I use this more than I should. It's a part of my business. I play RuneScape on it. I do personal things, business things on it. But like, there's a good argument to be made of like, Dan, live a little. Why are you spending time on a slower plan on an older phone? Why are you wasting your time with the hourly rate that you're pulling in this market? In this market, how are you running an S21 4-year-old phone? And I finally came around and upgraded. But I think I put new phone first time ever back into debt. I put that as the prompt for my YouTube live stream sheet. I figured that would be a rant that would be fitting at some point, because even though it's about my cell phone, it's a business phone. It percentage of business, and it also like ties into my whole personal finance ethos. So yeah, I figured that was worth a conversation on my live stream. Have you considered taking your pallet concept and turning that into a financial instrument for people to invest into? No, that sounds horrific. That sounds SEC securitizing Pokemon cards sounds miserable. I think there's people out there trying to do it. It would not be beneficial to anyone. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. Dan, can I buy into your pallet? It's like, no, look at what I'm putting on my pallets. Like, please don't just copy me. But if you want to, like, you'd be better off just copying me than buying like, the amount of fees I'd have to charge to make that worthwhile to me is just stupid. It's really stupid how much money I'd have to charge to make that make sense to me when I'm just buying the underlying asset. Like, just buy the underlying asset and stick it in your closet and stick it under your bed or whatever. Only buy it if you actually want to buy it, blah, 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 blah. But no, I will never securitize, I will never fractionalize pallets like that and sell them into the market. I think someone will, though. I would not be surprised if someone, I actually know some people are trying to do that right now, with Modern Sealed, with high-end slabs. Kevin O'Leary, we don't know what he's doing with his sports cards, but he's bought two $10 million plus sports cards recently with a group of people, that Shine and a couple other people. If those don't ultimately end up in some kind of a securitized thing that people can buy a fraction of, I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if that didn't happen. But no, I am never creating a Pokey hedge fund. I say never, but like never. Will you go hard as you can into building modern allocation if the opportunity comes, which would be a clear sign of a softening modern market? Everyone says they will, but like, no. If and when boxes go back to, if and when boxes go back to $90 a box, and I can buy them from my distro for $90 a box, 95, $100 a box. If it's like a loss, I won't go as hard as I can. I will go hard, but people, like a lot of people, and some people maybe will. I'm not that crazy though. Like I will not just put, theoretically, I could remortgage my house. I could sell off a lot of stuff. I could put $1 million into, I'm not going to put $1 million into pallets of whatever first set becomes available at wholesale. I'm gonna like go harder than I've been going. I'm gonna try to build it up, but like the part that I'm saying no to is hard as I can. I'm gonna go hard, but I'm not gonna like lever up. The only debt that I will have is the cell phone debt that I have today. Man, that I get a bad feeling when I say that, when I think that. Lots of money shifting over to vintage right now. How does that impact your current business model? So I don't have much money in vintage. I do have the best card in the hobby. Hands down, the best card in the hobby in PSA 9 condition, but I consider this a PC card. I don't plan on selling it anytime soon. Hopefully not ever. But it works for me. I don't have a lot of money tied up into it, but I consign it. If you have vintage grails that have gone up a lot recently and you want to pay off your cell phone debt, or you want to pay off your mattress debt, or you want to pay off your bicycle debt, or whatever you have debt on, if you want to max out your Roth IRA or 401k or whatever you want to do with the money, consign today. Consign today. I can benefit off the growth in the vintage market by consigning those items. And actually, this is another thing I forgot to put a note on, but the Venusaur, let me pull up my Instagram. This was insane. I've always said, and I have videos going back 4 years on my channel, 3-4 years on my channel, market price is not a thing in Pokemon. Never has been, never will be. The more liquid a card is, like this card has more of a market price. This card has more of a market price. 151 booster packs have more of a market price than like this card. It transacts less frequently. The more frequently, the more fungible. The more frequently that transact, the more fungible they are. The more you can exchange this for any other booster box of Deserados, which you can't really. But the more close something is to that, the more a market price exists. But check this. Check this absurdity. This was the craziest thing I've seen in quite some time. And you know, I had to play it up. I had to play it up for Instagram. Let me go to my 2cam. Why did we lose it? Instagram. 2 cert supremacy. So this Venusaur, this frog, this base set first edition frog on the left, is a 2 cert Gem Mint 10 first edition Shadowless Venusaur. On the right, it's a 4 cert Gem Mint 10 first edition Venusaur. And they both sold on October 12th, this past Sunday. If you were my consigner and you consigned this left card to me, you would have been paid tomorrow. I would be initiating payment tomorrow if you were my consigner on this card. Thankfully for me, this was my card. The same day, on the same platform, the same card, a different cert number. This Venusaur on the right is a 4 cert sold for $27,600. It's not my card. I don't have access to the back end for that one. I don't know if that got paid. but I know this one did. Dan, why? Money laundering. I don't know, whatever it is. But someone actually said right here, Cyrus Collectibles says, I believe the 4 cert got flashed in a bit after the start of the auction, which may have resulted in fewer eyeballs. The one for auction this week is already close to 40K. So the 4 cert is an outlier in today's market. So that's the most likely outcome. The most likely outcome is that this one went artificially low because it was flashed in. Artificially low. Maybe it's soft. Honestly, I didn't inspect really closely. But Dan, why did you own a PSA 10 base for Charizard or Venusaur? You were just telling John, you were just telling Radar that you don't really have much in vintage. But I did. This was multiple things at once. And maybe I'll make a video devoted to just this. But I bought this for $17,080 on Landry Pop Auctions. Who? Yes, Landry Pop Auctions. I went to a Collecticon, Charlotte Collecticon maybe. They had banger stuff there. They had this card. They had trophies. They had all kinds of stuff. Really good stuff. And it was a pain for me to register. It took me days to register. I had to call them. I had to like verify that I was who I was. I had to send my ID. I got verified to bid, and it was like pulling teeth. I said, hey, the market is hot right now. I said, modern is booming. It's shifting into the megas. It's shifting into the tag teams. Base first was up, but it wasn't up nearly as much. So this play that I made was 2 things at once. It was a swing momentum play. It was a swing trade, a momentum trade on like, I'm going to buy this today to sell it tomorrow. Tomorrow ended up being closer to 2 months because I kind of wanted to feel the market out. I wanted to see what was going on. I watched one sell a couple weeks ago for like 30 grand, I think. And I'm like, okay, now's the time. I sent it for auction. It ended Sunday. It went for $55,000 with the premium, and it got paid. Got paid via wire. My rep at Fanatics, he said it was a newer account, which he said is usually a red flag. It's usually bad. But he said the wire was initiated, and the wire was supposed to land today. The wire landed today, and I got paid out today. So this was a confirmed paid sale. I bought it less than 2 months ago for $17,000. So the second aspect of my play 1 was a momentum, a swing trade. I was speculating short term that base 10 first edition would go up, which it has. So that was a good spec. It turned out to be right. It could have went the other way, but like it went the correct way. Additionally, Fanatics is like a lot bigger than Landry Pop Auctions. Rest in peace to whoever consigned this with Landry Pop Auctions. But this was less than they were going for on eBay and Fanatics at the time. This was soft. The reason that I bought it is because this was a low price. So I paid that. I transported it to a better platform at a better time, and I netted a disgusting amount of money on that gain. And then this guy, when I saw that another one was live the same week, I'm like, oh crap! It's probably only gonna get. Sorry, I'm trying to go back full screen. When I saw that there were 2 Venusaurs the same week, I'm like, it's probably only gonna get 30 grand now. I'm probably gonna get a lot less than I should have or could have. But that other one got flashed in. And part of the reason I picked the week I picked, because when I looked, when I scheduled mine to end this Sunday, there were no other ones. I think this one went unpaid from weeks ago. Somebody flashed it in. Sad reality. Maybe they needed the money quick. Big thing in the space. Big, like, and like, this is probably wrong of me to go this far with it, but like, maybe they're leveraged. Maybe they need the money quickly. Like, they flashed it in. They didn't get the eyeballs. It was a lowly 4 cert. What did James say? James said this in Discord. I'm gonna quote James from the paywall Discord. Close your ears, Mason. Dan quoting Discord again. But James said, where'd it go? Old cert equals no cert. I like that one a lot. Maybe he coined that. Maybe someone else coined that. I don't know. But old cert, that was pre-Kurt's Card Care. This one is very unlikely to have been wiped or touched up or buffed or waxed or whatever you want to call it. I'm being mostly facetious there. I don't think that's exactly what it was, but I think it was more the flash. And honestly, a lot of this stuff is just arbitrary. The guy who bid on mine, maybe they bid day one. Maybe some whale who just registered his account, he's buying PSA 10 base first aggressively. He placed his bid. He might have bid 100 grand on that for all we know. For all we know, he's a billionaire who the money that means nothing to him. He just wants to get one of every PSA 10. Day one, he bid 100 grand. Somebody bid him up. The other one flashed in later. And then the underbidder was like, oh crap, I'm glad somebody outbid me there. And then he went over and he won the other one for cheaper. No idea. But like, market price is not a thing. That is a good demonstration. People will be like, oh, it's tax evasion. It's money laundering. It's no, like, I'm the seller of this card. I did not do any funny business on this. Like this was just somebody bidding against somebody else. Somebody won it and they paid. That's what it is. Open and shut. End of the day. That's what it is. Cell phones are like cars now. They want you to finance over buy it outright. Yeah, crazy. For some reason I couldn't highlight this earlier. My highlight chat is lagging by like a minute over my other one. But yes, as I mentioned, I'm doing pretty well financially, and I used to be on what they called the unlimited welcome plan, and I didn't even know this was a thing, but I had 5G internet, but I had deprioritized 5G internet. So like, if I was at a Collecticon and there were 10,000 people there with Verizon phones, mine would be at the bottom of the list. Now I have ultra 5G wideband razzle dazzle whatever. I don't like that I have to pay more for that, but like where I'm at financially, business expense, like it makes sense to do it. Plus the fact that like there are times, it's pure blasphemy. There are times that I've been out with my family trying to enjoy a good Pokemon Go session, and we've been unable to raid a Pokemon as a family because our service is too weak in certain areas. So theoretically, like, we should be better Pokemon Go players now with this. So I mean, that's worth $30 a month alone. But as I said, everything averaged out, I'm actually saving $50 a month by the time I drop my TDS plan. So I could have been saving $70 a month without doing anything, just dropping the TDS plan. But that's how I've rationalized it. There's always got to be an excuse. There's always got to be a rationalization for it. How do you consider the macroeconomic concerns versus the market? As a collector hoarder who has watched friends lose jobs or have hours cut recently, I feel we're in a recession already and just don't know it. I have no idea. There are some finance channels that I watch, that I follow, that talk macroeconomics. I pay very loose attention to it, but my personal like sentiment around the broader markets are, I'm fully ready. My body is ready for a 50% drop to my net worth at any time. And that's talking about my Pokemon, that's talking about my crypto, that's talking about my SP 500. All of it, I know, and I'm ready to weather that storm. A lot of people say they are, but when 2008 comes, they panic sell at the bottom. I used to sit at a lunch table with people that I used to work with, and I remember there was a guy that I talked to I started at the company at 2011, and I worked there until 2021. But I remember talking to him in like the late 20-teens, almost 2020, and he was still like, he still had his money on the sidelines. 2008 happened. He was like 60 something. 2008 happened. He was probably a few years from retirement, and then he became a decade from retirement, and then he took it all out. He locked in his losses, and he went into the guaranteed 3%, whatever it was, money market fund, and he just always talked about like, a crash is coming. I'm not going back in. I'll go back in when it happens. You can never time the bottom. You can never time the top. Time in the market versus timing the market. A lot of people use that to talk about Pokemon, which makes me cringe as much as having debt, which makes me scared for them and myself and everyone. But yeah, it's something that I'm genuinely ready for. I'm not excited for it, but in my lifetime, in the next 50 years, it is almost like a certainty that I will weather several 10% drops, many 20% drops, and a handful of 40 to 50% drops. Like historically speaking, a book like this will tell you that the stock market is just a tool to transfer money from the patient to the impatient. And really, honestly, to transfer money, that goes on the red side too. The have read side is almost half as tall as the not read side. I feel better now. I forgot this book was over here. But it's kind of sad. But like, generally speaking, a lot of the people who can afford it least are the ones that panic sell and lock in their losses at the bottom. and then the rich get richer when things inevitably. I'm saying this for the traditional markets. With crypto, it is not inevitable. Like if Bitcoin drops 50%, it's not inevitable that it will come back. It could not come back, and the world could be the same 20 years from now, 30 years from now, as we know it. For Pokemon to drop 50% and then come back, like it doesn't have to come back. The S&P 500, people don't get this in Pokemon, but for the S&P 500 to drop and never come back, drop 50, 60, 80% and never come back, that would fundamentally change the world as we know it. Coca-Cola and McDonald's and Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart and Colgate-Palmolive and all these companies that you give money to every day, Procter and Gamble, all these companies, Clorox, there's real people there. There's real products there. There's real capital expenditure. There's real equipment and land, and there's real things going on there. And you're buying into a percentage of that productive enterprise. And that's really like the productive, the cumulative combined output of humanity is represented in the S&P 500. So you're really making a bet on humanity. Humanity can exist without shiny cardboard being worth exorbitant amounts of money. I promise. Wait until they give you 0% interest and $1 a month. Lovely night for some fence setting. Nice to see you, Swami. How's it going? I noticed gas was real cheap today, which is great, but it could be another recession sign. Gas is one of those things that like gas and the price of eggs, they're like the big picnic topics. I think it's probably like over a year ago, but PK talked about this before. He's like, you go to a barbecue, you go to a picnic, and people are talking about the price of gas and the price of eggs, and it's like, I'm so far removed from any of that. Even before, like when I was 16, I know what gas was when I was 16, and I have no other anchor point. I blew up my first car. My first car, the engine blew with a full tank of $4.40 gas. I remember that the $80 that was in that gas tank was a big financial hit. That did not feel good. So bad that I remember it 19 years later. I'll probably never forget that car blowing up and me asking my dad, like, hey, should I like, can I take the gas out of that? Can I like siphon the gas out of that? But these days it's like when I need gas, I go and I get it and I put my card in, and I'm not using apps to figure out. I used to have coworkers that would like use an app to tell them where the cheapest gas was. And on their lunch, they drive 15 minutes, grab McDonald's. Like I used to live in a city, work in a city that had 2 McDonald's. So pretty big city. It had 2 McDonald's, right? They used to drive halfway across the city to go to the other McDonald's to grab lunch, and then eat it the whole drive back to save 10 cents a gallon on gas when they're putting like 12 gallons of gas in their little car. It's like I would try to do the math with them. I try to like value your time, value your lunch break, value the additional gas you burn to get there. It's like obscene what they would do to save $1 when they actually weren't saving $1. Maybe they were saving 10 cents, spending 30 minutes to save 10 cents. Absolutely insane. Some of the things that people would do. So I've never been one to like pay, like I need gas, so I'm just gonna pay whatever it is. I don't really need eggs, but like I really like eggs, and I'm just gonna buy them, whatever they are, whatever my stakes are, I just buy my groceries. Even going back to when my net worth was 5-figure net worth, low 5-figure net worth, when I was starting out, moving into a house with my girlfriend, and we had just put 20% down on our house, and we had cumulatively, we had some student loans still. We had some car loans still. We had the mortgage. I was buying gas. I was just buying it. I was just buying eggs. I was not really like sweating that stuff. Ignoring the release of Phantasma Flames, what are you most excited about the future of Pokemon? New gens are always exciting. Last generation gave us Quaxly, so I'm very interested to see, like, will the new generation, very unlikely. The odds are, I can't say 0, but the odds are extremely low that they will give us anything better than Quaxly. But maybe my entire background will be revamped with the new generation. Think back when this channel started, we had not yet met Quaxly, and he wasn't in my background. But so I'm excited for new Pokemon. A lot of people I don't think are, and Nomad said the same thing. A lot of people I don't think are. A lot of people dread new Pokemon coming out. Oh crap, these all suck. Like I'm very easy to please. You give me a duck. You give me a duck with the hair flip, and I'm sold. Love tuning into a Pokemon live stream to hear Dan rant about his phone. Does it seem weird that vintage PSA 10s of e-reader hollows, EXs, etc. with sub 100 pop reports are still available and not in the hands of more endgame collectors that are so rich they hold forever? I don't know. E-reader hollows, they're set cards, so they're not like deep down the rabbit hole. But there's just a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things out there. I truly think, like that Venusaur that I bought, I think it'll still be up. Me buying this, why did it get so small? Me buying this 6 weeks ago in this market for 17 grand, this felt like lunacy. This felt like robbery. Me buying a PSA 10 base first edition starter, like this is number 3 in the Pokédex. He evolved from the first Pokemon in the Pokédex. This is his rookie card, right? This blew my mind. Some of the things that I sell for not really for $17,000, but some of the things that sell, I just had one. Where'd I put it? Like, would you rather have a black label Big Makachu? One of these in black label sold for 21 grand through ZNG Emporium, and it was paid. And not long after that, I bought this. I bought this for $17,000. Not long after one of these went for 22,000, 21, whatever it was. You can get mad at the market, or you can just buy where you see value and sell where you don't see value. I'm selling all my PSA, even PSA 10. Say a PSA 10 is approximately $170 right now. Would you rather have 100 PSA 10 Burger Chews, or at the time, at the time I don't know what they were. Maybe they were 170, to be honest. They were like 150, and then they went to 300, and I think they're back down to close to 150. But at the time, if you would ask me, Dan, would you rather have 100 PSA 10 Big Makachus or one PSA 10 base first Venusaur? As a collector, as an investor, as anything, the Venusaur. It felt like lunacy that was the case. Less than one black label Big Makachu. And I bought it, and this is the way that it went. This is the outcome. It was not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, but I tripled my money. I made $30,000 plus net, flipping one card into this insane market. There are other people who probably bought it earlier, but yeah, like in hindsight, oh Dan, it was so like I should have put $200,000 into PSA 10 base first, and I should have done it all on leverage, and I should have. Hindsight, I could have made a lot more money than the $30,000 that I made, but I'm happy with the $30,000 I made. Yeah, but it's, yes, relative to a lot of other things in today's market, I think PSA 10 e-reader hollows are too cheap. But like, do I think that with enough conviction that I'm investing in them? No. Do I think with enough conviction that this was cheap to the extent that I would invest in it? No. From the day that I bought this card, from the day that I bought it, I was selling it. I was 100% a seller of that card in the next 30, 60, 90 days, tops. I had the money in my bank account. I paid off the credit card balance. It's been 60 days, so like I didn't fire sell as quickly as possible. I was looking at the market. I was feeling it out. I was trying to see what was going on, and I generally felt good about putting it to auction when I did, and I was rewarded. But like I don't think it's undervalued enough, nor these. I don't think these personally are undervalued enough to invest in them. I would rather have my money in my modern palettes, to be honest. So some people will recoil at that thought. Oh, Dan is saying that he likes his $250 Scarlet Violet booster boxes than my $250 PSA 9 e-reader hollows. Yes, I do. A large part of the reason is that I fundamentally don't believe in like all that is grading. Not even just PSA. Like I'm talking all of them. PSA, CGC, BGS, Tag, XYZ. I don't believe in or trust any of them. I use them as a tool to increase the liquidity, increase the fungibility, increase the value of the cards that I sell. But I don't really add graded cards to my PC anymore. The most recent one I did was the singular gray felt hat that I saved from the case that John and I had bought. But I really don't ever intend on adding more PSA graded cards. Raw ones, some meaningful moment, whatever, go to an event, pull a card with my family, whatever. I'll save those, but grading just isn't it for me, honestly. Evening, Dan. Any good cooks on the smoker lately? I've been smoking my tri-tip brisket style. Recommend if you haven't tried it. I made some fantastic. I made So we went. If you watched on Monday, I did a Card Party Seattle recap, and we went to two steakhouses, two very good steakhouses. We went to the one at the casino, the Snoqualmie Casino in Washington, and then we went to El Gaucho, El Gaucho, El Guacho, Gaucho. I think it's Gaucho. El Gaucho with Retro. Shout out to him. _ retrospects on Instagram for all your Japanese sealed product needs. He is a trusted source. I've spent over 6 figures with him. I send the money first. He sends the product later. So shout out to him. He bought my dinner at El Gaucho. But fantastic steaks. My wife really liked the béarnaise sauce she got at both steakhouses. She's like, hey Dan, can you make some béarnaise sauce at home? I make a mean steak. My wife said that the steak that I made was as good, like right on par with the high tier steakhouses. $100 a head, $100 a steak, with all the apps, everything we got, even more than that. But the other night, all this to set the stage for what I made the other night. I smoked. I reverse seared. I smoked and then seared on my grill. So I have a Pit Boss vertical pellet smoker with hickory pellets. I smoked at 250 for like an hour and a half to get to 125, 130 internal. And then I seared on my Weber grill a big, fat, thick ribeye and a big, fat, thick filet. And we didn't have the stuff to make béarnaise. I didn't have coriander, and I didn't have tarragon. I didn't have tarragon, and I didn't have something else. So I made what's it called? Hollandaise sauce, which turned out really good too. I made it a little bit too salty, but I love salt. Anyways, I made 2 reverse seared, really nice steaks the other night, Monday night. A filet and a ribeye, fantastic. Wife and the kids, myself, we feasted for a couple nights. They were really big. I will make béarnaise at some point. I just need to get the proper stuff for it. But I googled it, and apparently there are 5 French mother sauces, of which Hollandaise is one of the 5 French mother sauces. I learned this the other night, so now my captive audience here on YouTube, you are forced to learn it too. Hollandaise is one of the 5 French mother sauces, and béarnaise is like a variant of Hollandaise. So yeah, I will make some béarnaise in the future for my wife. I make like I call it an au jus, but it's not really an au jus. I did use the drippings from the pan. I use like a French onion soup as a base, and I add in all the juices from whatever I cooked, and I add in some other stuff. And my daughter loves the au jus dipping sauce. Chef has got my back on béarnaise. Scrolling back up, I'm as always, ask your questions, leave them in chat. I will answer all of them. If you have any Pokemon questions that you want to steer me to, why is this man ranting about steaks? Why is this man ranting about his phone plans and the debt that he's in over his cell phone? It's just where we went. But if you have questions, ask me and I will answer them. Once I get to the bottom of the chat, though, we've been going for almost 90 minutes. I will end and I will finish setting up mine and my wife's phones whenever I end the live stream. It's all I've been picking up lately because I fear them never being able to get some of these cards in the future due to them simply not being up for sale. Yeah, it could happen. The PSA 10 e-reader hollows, just like the PSA 10 base first. Like honestly, if I had to look at any one segment of the market, and today, now that Venusaur has been paid, I own zero PSA 10 base first hollows. Some of them being available for under 10 grand, that was bonkers. There are PSA 10 poncho cards that are worth or were worth north of 10 grand, and I bought a Venusaur for 17 grand. Like, what are we talking about? That to me felt like pure lunacy. So as I said, it was a swing momentum play. It was a bad platform to a good platform play, and it worked really well. I want to pull up on Fanatics now. I'm going to pull up Fanatics and eBay. I want to see if there's any PSA 10 Venusaurs still available. I know somebody mentioned PSA 10 base first Venusaur. Somebody mentioned in chat that there's one like in the 30s already. So I think it's a matter of like my card did well, but the other one did like really poorly. Pokey Rescue just caught up on 2x. Turd Burglar. Love it. I reverse seared 2-inch bone and ribeyes the same way. So this was probably 3 inches thick. I cut them really thick. Maybe 2.5. I don't know. It was a pretty thick steak. I bought a whole ribeye. I bought a whole ribeye at Costco and a whole fillet at Costco, and then I portioned them out, freeze some of them, did some that night. But yeah, let me see if the Venusaur. Let me see if there's a Venusaur. So there is. There's a Venusaur right now. Let me see if I can show this. I have one invoice I have to pay on Fanatics. Don't mind that. But this is active right now. And it's a 4-cert. So I'm interested to see how this does. With Buyer's Premium, it's already at. So 32 times 1.2 is 38.4. It should be, I believe. So this card is already at $38,400. So this one did pretty poorly. This one right here. This one had a bad outcome. Look at this one. So this one was sold on September 29th. When I saw this one sell, two things. I didn't want to sell mine at the same time because I'm like, I don't want to run two at once. But when I saw this sold as well. So after I bought my Landry Pop Auction one, I believe I bought it on August 17th, if my memory serves me right. So I bought it on August 17th for 17 grand. And then I was keeping an eye on it. So August 28th, one sold for 19,800. I'm like, after fees, I'm not even going to make anything. Then one went for 27.5 a few weeks later. Then 32.4. Then I sent it into Fanatics. I sent it into my vault. And I'm like, okay, we're getting ready. Then I saw this one go. And I'm like, boom. This one went for 38.5. I expected when I listed mine, I expected I was going to get low mid 30s. Because I'm like, it's a 2-cert. This was the 1-cert. People are weird about 2-certs, whatever. I'm like, I might get low 30s. I would have been thrilled to get low 30s. And then boom, paid 55.2. Absolutely bonkers, absolutely crazy. And I'm not a market savant for that. I think I saw a lot of indicators that, like, relative to other things, base first was like primed to go. And it was so obvious. Everyone should have known that. Why didn't you buy it from Landry Pop Auctions? No, I made a well-educated guess, I would say. And it really panned out. I saw the podcast. I saw the Steve's podcast. I'll probably get banned in chat if I go in there and ask him about his crap strategy, but that blows my mind still. I don't know what to say on it. Saving 10 cents a gallon is going to save you $1.50 to drive 30 minutes round trip out of your way to burn gas while doing it. Absolutely crazy. If you had to pick, what would you value most when evaluating a future investment? Total set value, artwork, low pop, how strong the main chase card is. I don't really do that. Honestly, I don't really do that. What I value more than any of those, I value most how good of a deal I'm getting on it. Basically, like, if I can get something at 70% of market and I've got to compare that to something at 100% of market, I like that I'm already at a number where I'm already winning. If I buy at 70% of market, I can already sell it, pay fees, and make money. So I don't like buying almost anything for 100% of market. That said, I bought the Venusaur for 100% of market. It panned out well. I bought these for 100% of market, and it panned out well. I bought these for 100% of market, and they panned out well. So, like, I do it at times, but I try to mostly buy at 70 to 85% of market. And it has, like, a built-in win for me already off the bat. But if I had to, so I'm cheating. I'm cheating, and I'm basing it on, like, the deal that I get. But if I had to rank your 4 you gave me, you said low pop, so you're talking about slabs. You've already lost me on slabs because I just don't do it. But if I take away slabs, if I take away low pop and I talk about, like, if I talk about sealed, because that's the only place that I invest. I don't want to talk where I don't walk, as a lot of people do. A lot of cosplay investors out there will talk where they don't walk. Oh, well, if you had $1 million to invest, what would you invest in, A or B? Oh, I would invest in A. Meanwhile, they don't have $100 in A, right? That blows my mind. I don't like that. But total set value, how strong the main chase card is. Artwork, this might sound blasphemous. I think artwork is of least importance. I think artwork is much more fickle demand. I think artwork is much more, because I promise you, if they printed the best art in the hobby, hands down, and they printed 10 billion of that card, it would be worth nothing. Artwork matters, but not as much as many people think it does. And in 20, 30 years from now, I think artwork will like matter a lot less. A lot of people would say, vintage artwork sucks. Well, this card just sold for $55,000. It's one of the most valuable cards in the hobby. Not because its art's fantastic. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Base set is what I grew up with. It's nostalgic, all that stuff. But like, there's a lot better artworks out there using the whole card, yada, yada, yada. So like, I think artwork is the least important of the 4 that you gave me. So artwork is the least. I will say total set value and how strong the main chase card is kind of go hand in hand, because if the main chase card is really strong, it's going to be worth a lot and it's going to raise the set value. But like, depth needs to be there too. A 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 to chase as well. I think total set value matters more. So I would go 1, 4, 2. And then low pop. I don't really invest in slabs, but like low pop, if it's on a relevant card, matters. That Venusaur being 150 PSA 10 pop approximately. Don't quote me on it. 140 something, I think. That Venusaur being 140 pop, that matters. That's the first set, the first Venusaur. That's the main language, English. Don't say Japanese is the first set. No rarity though. No rarity Venusaur would be better than that. When do you know for sure you have a black label for grading? Never. You never, ever know. You never know you have a PSA 10. They grade plus or minus 1 at best. And it's where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. Grading is always a bit of a gamble. No matter how clean your card is, you can never unequivocally know that you're getting a PSA 10, let alone a black label. You can have a higher certainty. You can have a higher likelihood of it. I made videos before on grading black labels. Black label, Nagabas, like I've graded a bunch of them. I've graded Naruto cards in black label. I've graded Dragon Ball Z cards in black label. But you never know. I promise. I need to be the guest and bring up the craps. I don't know if I'll ever I don't know if I'll ever be a guest on that. But honestly, if you invited me on, I'd go on. I think it would be interesting to talk with him. Even though I think, and this is something I think society needs more of today. Even though I know that he is just provably wrong on certain things, like having an edge on the craps table, having an edge buying a whole roll of scratch-off tickets, I think he can still have value elsewhere. I've made silly mistakes. I've thought certain things incorrectly and been like, wow, Dan, no, like you're actually wrong on that. I feel like he could probably be reasoned into understanding, but I wouldn't use the platform of a YouTube live stream to try to drill into that and to try to like and maybe end up embarrassing him, or it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. I think a lot of people get like way too riled up over things like that. I'd rather just engage in a fruitful way on something that we could have interesting conversation on. Maybe I'd bring it up, maybe I'd poke and jest a little bit, but like I wouldn't drill down into like, I'm going to use this platform to demonstrate, to prove to you, because I don't even have the means to. I don't think I would have the means to. Dan loves buying them scratch-offs by the roll. Yes. Improves your odds. Thoughts on the rumors of Pokemon Printer Space opening in Q1? Is it rumors or is it just like obvious? I feel like it's very obvious. I've mentioned this before. Pokemon is smart. They're not going to triple their output without a business case for it. They're not going to triple their output only for demand to have because they printed too much. They're going to do it cautiously. But like in the past 5 years, the numbers are there. This is an objective statement of fact. Pokemon in the past 5 years has more than tripled their print run. And they can do it again if the business case is there. They're going to do it very cautiously. They're going to dip their toe in, make sure the water's fine. They're not going to dive in. They're not going to break their neck in 2 feet of water. They're going to make sure the demand is there. They're going to make sure that they're going to bump it up slowly, and they're going to make sure it doesn't all crash. Because like if they go too far, the second you go too far, demand goes down, and now you've exceeded demand, and then you've tanked demand, so now you've way exceeded demand. That's a lot of things that people don't understand. But like I promise, printing is not that difficult. Yes, the printers are very fancy. They're not like my nice brother laser printer over here. They're not like your Epson inkjet at home, your HP inkjet at home. They're more complicated than that, but I promise printing cardboard, printing ink on cardboard, printing ink on shiny cardboard is not like I promise we are not at the world capacity for trading card production equipment. Like honestly, in this current environment, we might be at the current or year old capacity for like trading cards in total. But what I'm saying is like if they wanted to cumulatively, Fanatics and Pokemon and Millennium Print Group, whatever the other ones are all called, if they all collectively decided like we're gonna invest in our future and 10x our print run, 10x our printing capacity, I don't know if it would take 5 years or 10 years. I don't know if it'd be $100 million or $1 billion. But like if and when the business case is proven to be there, I promise they could and would print 30 to 50 plus billion cards a year of Pokemon. Today, they're printing 10 to 12 billion as they have the last couple of years. If and when the market proves able to take it, they will print 30 to 50 billion cards. Will that actually happen? Will the market be able to bear that? I don't know. But I know they could and they would. Some people are like, they're printing more, like the world just doesn't have the ability. They can't scale. It's impossible. Like printing cards is so complicated and it'll take time. It'll take money. But like they will get there. I promise. We'll see what happens though. Like, as I've said many times, we might look back and say like, dang, Dan was wrong. This never went under MSRP. This never went under $300. Maybe the individual who said anyone who thinks this could go under $300 is delusional. Maybe that guy, even though his lack of logic to come to that theory is delusional, he might be right in that it never goes under 300 again. This could be a $1,000 box next May. This could be $800 by Christmas. We just don't know. We don't know, and I'm excited to see. This could, in 5 years, this could be this could be Evolving Skies 2.0. This could be a $10,000 box in 5 to 10 years. I'll be doing well if it is, but like I hope it goes down in the interim, and I hope I can buy more. But if I can't, like I'll be fine too. So we'll see what happens. A lot of uncertainty, and the way that you should think. I haven't read the book yet, but the way that you should think in bets. The second you start falling for guarantee, I promise, 5 years ago, the videos are still live. 5 years ago, people were guaranteeing Vivid Voltage. Guarantee! That means a 0% chance that it would go below $200. How did that pan out? They were not, the people who said that, the people who acted on that were not thinking in bets. Maybe, like, at minimum, they should have been, 95% chance it doesn't go down. That is infinitely better. If you say it's guaranteed to not go below MSRP, if you say there's a 95% chance this won't go below 300, I respect you infinitely more than I respect you when you say guaranteed it won't. Because I know you're stupid if you guarantee that it won't. You have no control over it. You don't have all the facts. You need to think in percentages. Think in bets. Do that in all your endeavors in life, and don't be so binary. Don't be so black and white. Like, live and think in the gray, because that's where life exists. That's where all this stuff exists. I think anything low pop popular Pokemon is worth it. That's very broad. Like, I'm sure there's some like pop 3 Charmander non-holo card from some Japanese unlimited set that like may or may not be worth what it last sold for. I don't know. Would you do another partnership like the Java Pack consignments, or is that for buddies only? If there's a business case for something, like, I will do it. I'm not doing the Java Pack thing as like solely a buddy thing. It's not like I'm just foregoing good business for myself solely to his benefit. Like, that's a mutually beneficial thing. I'm doing it because there's a business case for it. I have the packs. I think it helps him a lot. It helps me as well. So like, it's a win-win with a buddy, with a fellow business associate partner, whatever you want to call it. So if and when those opportunities arise, absolutely, I would undertake more of them. It's fairly passive on my part. It's fronting the capital, it's fronting the inventory, it's kind of sharing my sourcing ability with him, and yeah, it's a win-win. So I go for it. But like, it's less the fact that he's my buddy. It's more the fact that like I know him well and I trust him. He also is my buddy. But I couldn't enter that relationship without somebody that I know quite well and trust explicitly, because like I sent him $20,000+ worth of packs, and I just sent them up front, and it's like he could just not pay me. He could just ghost, and he could skip town. He could sell it all and be on a yacht somewhere, and I'd have no recourse to collect against him. So I wouldn't enter into that with like a random, because I just inherently can't. If they do an underwhelming reprint, we could see prices go even higher, as people would assume PCI went full throttle, even if they were just being cautious and FOMO the hype. Absolutely. Like, there could be a scenario where in 6 months or a year or 6 weeks or whatever duration, there could be a reprint of this that actually makes prices go higher. Because one thing about all markets, this is not just trading cards, this is crypto, this is everything. Future, like, markets are forward looking. We expect the price today is factoring in some amount of reprints coming by most people. The prices of like a stock, the prices of a stock are built on expectations. They're built on like industry experts anticipation for what they're going to have in their earnings call. And there are times where people beat an earnings call and their stock goes down because the general consensus is that they're going to beat the earnings call by even more. So they underperform the growth that they were supposed to have. So the growth was baked in and they underperformed it, and so it goes down. So if we reprint, like in my mind, I'm baking in the price of this box in the future going to one, like, well, the price of the packs more. The price of the packs going to $5-6 a piece or less. So I think this box will go under 250. I think this box will go under 200. So I'm baking that thought into the future expectations of it. So if and when a reprint comes and they say, hey Dan, we've got 2 boxes for you, not cases, boxes. If in a year, nothing between now and then, and they say, hey Dan, last call on Destined Rivals, we got our final reprint and it's 2 boxes, you know what I'm gonna probably try to do? Like, I would rather buy this in a year for $500-600 a box than buying it today at 400, whatever it is. Because then it's that much closer. It's that much less likely to be reprinted at that point. It'll blow people's minds, but like, honestly, I would rather pay more, even like a good annual growth rate in the future when I have more certainty. Like, as crazy as it sounds, Evolving Skies today at 2,000 to 2,500, I feel better about buying that than when it first hit 500. When it first hit 500 on the way up, I did not, like, I feel better today about 2,500, 2,000, 2,500, wherever it is, than I felt like the day that it first hit 500. Because the day that it first hit 500, I was still feeling like it was going to go down from there. But now there's more, and I'm not saying it couldn't go down, but I feel like it's less likely that it will have in the future. But again, I'm just one guy navigating this market best I can and making my guesses, my theories. Can you put a new link for the Discord in for new people? And when will the September live stream be uploaded to Patreon? I will DM Jake right now. Where is he? There he is. Did you post Patreon video? So if you're not in the Discord, get in there, because the Discord is where most of the good stuff happens. The office hours, we post more promptly the links to the Patreon recordings and everything. Brad, I read these ones, but I did not read the much taller pile. What money finance books would you recommend? So I showed them earlier. I'm not going to reread all the names, but these are the ones that I read. I read all of them, and oh, let me put them this way. So I read all of these, and I really like them all. And then all of these ones I bought on. These were all recommended to me by a YouTuber that I follow, or by a friend, or by a family member, or by whoever. But these all came well recommended and they were all well reviewed on Amazon. So where are we selling sealed now that Proby is off eBay? Stay tuned. There may or may not be more sealed consignment options in the future. But as of today, DC Sports is there. As of soon, Snipe is there in under a month. Sealed Shiz consignments there. I was never using Josh. I love you, Josh, but I've never used them, or I don't think I've frequently used them for things over $1,000. Because like Probstein was 95% and Josh was quite a bit lower. But I use Josh on some lower end stuff. I use Josh on some cheaper stuff. Very trusted. Hopefully getting better rates in the future if and when he scales into them. Love your take, Stan. Love the book references too. Appreciate you, Matt. What side products, sleeve, dice, etc. do you purchase from Dish or Tabuchi or TCG allocations? None. I don't play that game. I know Brian Pokey talks about it. I don't have a throne of like the battle build and battle academy battle whatever. If people don't want them, I don't really buy them just to get in their good graces. Maybe that hurts me, but like honestly, I think I think I'm better off for it today. I think I'll be better off for it in the future. I could be wrong though. There's Josh right there. Hopefully he's fine with my mild endorsement of his service for below 1,000. Above 1,000 it's just too hard. But fully trusted. He gets good prices on his items too. So shout out to Josh if you're interested in sealed Shiz consignments. Google that, fill out a form, send your stuff in, and he's good to go. He'll pay you out. PayPal, friends and family, ACH. I forget what other ones he uses, but PayPal, friends and family to me works well. With that, I am fully caught up. When is Snipe? I'm not fully caught up anymore. When is Snipe going to be operational? I haven't seen any infrastructure or branding for it yet. I emailed Rick Probstein just earlier tonight, and he said it will be live on November 3rd. So stay tuned for November 3rd, I guess. Love the content. I have 1,400 worth of PC ETB promos, only one PSA 10, and was wondering if I should trade for sealed. Good idea, or should I hold even though they're raw? I don't like PC stamped promos. I generally sell them. So like I'm not advising you to sell them. I'm just telling you what I would do. I like sealed a lot more than I like PC ETB promos. So me personally, I would sell and put the money into sealed. But I'm not telling you to do that though. Bullish on Green Sage Shield, just need them rates. We got to get them there. We got to pump them there together. But with that, I am fully caught up on chat. We've gone for a solid 148 minutes. I was going to say 108 minutes, an hour and 48 minutes. Everything is going over to Snipe that is received after this Friday is going over to Snipe. So, or being returned if people don't want to go to Snipe, I guess. I've never been mad at Nat Turner, not mad at them. With that, I'm going to end before another question comes in. I appreciate everyone as always. I will